Sierra exposes Kirk. Other woman says Rasheeda already knew everything. The Love and Hip Hop set was already buzzing with whispers that morning, but nothing could have prepared the cast, or the viewers, for what was about to unfold. Cameras were rolling, lights blazing, and tension sizzling like grease in a hot skillet. Sierra Gates had arrived in full glam, heels clicking like a drumline, and that look in her eyes said it all. Someone was about to get red for filth. Kirk Frost was seated across from Rasheeda, looking like a man who had just accidentally sat on a hornet's nest. His jaw was tight, his hands folded, and his eyes darted toward the exit every few seconds. If there had been an escape hatch under the couch, he would have gladly taken it. Rasheeda, ever the queen of composure, sat with her legs crossed, her arms folded, and her expression unreadable, like a poker champion waiting for the other players to show their hands. That's when Sierra stepped into the center of the set like she was storming a courtroom. "All right, I'm sick of it," Sierra began, voice sharp enough to cut glass. "Kirk, you been running around acting like you got something to hide, but guess what? The hiding days are over." The room went silent. Mics picked up the subtle sound of Kirk swallowing hard. The crew members behind the cameras exchanged glances, silently mouthing, "Oh, it's about to go down." Sierra pulled her phone from her handbag and tapped the screen with a dramatic flourish. "I've been talking to her," she said, locking eyes with Kirk. "And she told me everything." Rasheeda's brow arched slightly, but her body didn't move an inch. It was as if she had rehearsed for this moment, or maybe, just maybe, she really had been expecting it. Kirk leaned forward, trying to keep his voice steady. "Sierra, you don't even know the whole story." "Oh, I know enough," Sierra cut him off. "And so does she." Right on cue, a woman stepped out from behind the curtain, a woman with glossy black hair, confidence in her stride, and the kind of smile that said she wasn't afraid to burn the whole house down. The crew instantly recognized her as the rumored, other woman, whose name had been floating in gossip blogs for weeks. She didn't waste time with pleasantries. "Let me just get this out in the open," the woman said, facing the cameras. "Yes, Kirk and I were involved. But before y'all try to paint me as some homewrecker, let me make this crystal clear, Rasheeda already knew." The set erupted. Gasps flew across the room like fireworks. Even the sound tech almost dropped his boom mic. Sierra placed a hand on her hip. "You heard her. Rasheeda, why you sittin' here acting like this is new? She's telling me you been knew about Kirk sneaking around." Rasheeda finally moved, leaning back in her chair with a slow, measured breath. Her eyes didn't go to Sierra or the other woman, they locked on Kirk like laser beams. "So, is this what we're doing now? Letting random people rewrite my marriage for TV ratings?" But the other woman wasn't backing down. "Don't act like I'm making this up. You and I talked. Remember, you said you were over it, and didn't care what Kirk did as long as it didn't embarrass you publicly." Kirk's head dropped into his hands. "Oh my God," he muttered under his breath. Sierra's voice rose. "So basically, y'all been playing the rest of us for fools. All these years of crying and fighting and acting like Kirk just keeps surprising you with these scandals, when the truth is, you knew the whole time." The atmosphere grew heavy. Rasheeda shifted in her seat, her trademark cool demeanor cracking just slightly. "What I knew or didn't know is between me and my husband. Period. I don't owe you or the cameras an explanation." But Sierra wasn't letting it go. "No, sis, you owe yourself an explanation. You been standing by him through every single mess, but if you knew about this from jump, then what's all the drama for? The fans are out here rooting for you, defending you, meanwhile, you got a whole open book marriage and didn't tell nobody." The other woman crossed her arms, clearly enjoying the chaos she had stirred. "Look, I'm not here to defend him. I'm just here to tell my truth. And the truth is, Rasheeda didn't just know, she gave me the impression that what we had wasn't even a threat to her marriage. She's the one who said, 'Do you, girl?' So I did me." Kirk finally lifted his head, looking both defeated and irritated. This is why I didn't want this out here. People twist stuff. You don't know the conversations we had, Sierra. You don't know the agreements we made in private. Rasheeda glanced at him sharply. You mean the agreements you made without thinking about the mess it would cause when it went public? The crew was now fully glued to the scene. Even the director whispered to a camera operator, "Don't you dare cut." Sierra sighed dramatically. "See, this is why I don't trust none of y'all's relationship advice. You make it look like some fairy tale redemption story on Instagram, but behind the scenes, it's just deals and cover-ups. And guess what? I'm done keeping quiet about it." The other woman smiled faintly, like she had achieved her mission. "All I'm saying is, don't be mad at me for telling the truth. I'm not the one pretending to be blindsided when I've been in on the game from day one." Rasheeda stood up then, slowly, deliberately. "I don't need to pretend about anything. My marriage isn't perfect, and it's not for everybody to understand. But don't mistake my silence for weakness. You might think you know the whole story, but you don't know half of it." Sierra tilted her head. "Then fill us in, sis. 'Cause from where I'm standing, this looks like a whole facade." Kirk tried to intervene. "Can we please take this off camera?" But it was too late. The room had been cracked open, and the truth, or at least several conflicting versions of it, was spilling out for the world to see. As producers yelled for a break, Rasheeda walked off set without looking back, her heels clicking against the floor like punctuation marks. Kirk followed a few steps behind, his face a storm of frustration and regret. Sierra, left in the center of the set, turned to the other woman and smirked. "Well, guess we just gave VH1 their season finale." The other woman just shrugged. "Hey, I told the truth. What happens next? That's on them." The cameras stayed rolling for a few extra seconds, capturing the raw tension in the air. One thing was certain. After today, the Frost marriage would never be viewed the same way again. And for the first time in a long while, Sierra felt like she had finally blown the lid off the illusion.